Die Mama hat drei Jingalech gehabt, mit weicher heute Beckerlech, wie zart der Samet glatt. Hat eins geheißen Berle, das zweite Chaim Schmerle, das dritte hat geheißen, me soll ihm kaufen Schier. Ich hab genarrt, ich hab gewusst, ihr wart, das dritte kleine Jingerle, das dritte, das bin ich. Die Mama hat drei Nissalech von dem Jarit gebracht, dei gute fette Nissalech, drei Nissalech abbracht. Ist eins gewähnt paar Bärlen und eins paar Chaim Schmerlen und gar das beste Nissel hat sie gelost par sich. Ihr Hund ein bisschen, war was nicht mehr ein Nissel, weil Nissele, das dritte, das bin ich.
Okay, short and sweet. Okay. Daniel, would you start reading the English, please?
Gladly. The lyrics to the children's song Drei Lingelech were written by Yeshua Koechberg, and the music was written by Michael Gelbolt. Koechberg was born in Telenscht, Bessarabia, originally a student of pharmacology. He worked for several years as an assistant in a pharmacy before emigrating to the United States in 1913. Over the years, he studied and graduated in engineering technology. At the same time, he founded a Yiddish Hebrew school in Boston. He published poems in many Yiddish newspapers, among them the Kinder Journal.
Go on, please.
Gilbert was born in a small town near Lodz, Poland, between 1909 and 1911. He toured with a music group for which he composed music. In 1912, he emigrated to the United States and became involved in the arbitering. He is known for his more than 120 Yiddish songs. His songs have a folk quality, sometimes leading to their erroneous identification as folk songs. Drei Lingelech is sung here by Tova Ben Zvi.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bob, can you start?
Die Mama hat drei Jüngler gehabt. Mit welcher Reute Beckelech, wie zarter Samet glatt. So the mother had three little boys. She has three little boys. She had three little boys with soft and red cheeks, like smooth, soft, even, I guess, velvet.
Yes.
No?
Yes,
Velvet.
yes. Yes. Thank you.
Vida?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's done. Henrietta, can you go on? Henrietta? Henrietta, you don't...
Oh,
Yeah, go on, read, please.
I'm always on mute.
Okay, so...
Hat ausgeheißen
Berale.
Barrel, das Barrel, das zweite,
Chaim Schmerle.
yes. Das dritte hat geheißen, man darf ihm kaufen, sure. Sheikh. Okay. I'm not attuned today. You can translate.
Okay. So one was called Berale, the second was called Chaim Shmerale, and the third one, he said that we have to buy him shoes. Okay. Elaine, please.
Yes. Ich hab euch abgenarrt. Ich hab gewusst, ihr wart. Das dritte kleine Jüngle, Das dritte, das bin ich. I tricked you. I know you're. I knew you're waiting. The third little boy, that third, that's me.
Okay, go on.
Die Mama hat 3 Nisselech von dem Jorid gebracht. 3 gute, fette Nisselech. 3 Nisselech abbracht. My mother has 3 little nuts brought from the fair. 3 good fat nuts. 3 nuts. Magnificent.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Julia, can you read, Julia?
Google translates the Nisela as chicks. Could it also mean chicks?
No,
Is
no, no, no.
Ain't
Definitely nuts. Okay, thank you.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Julia, you
is
read?
Einskewin Barbarle und eins war Chaim Schmirle und Gord das beste Nissel hat sie gelost für sich.
Okay, can you translate it?
I was Berle und one
No, one was for Berale.
and one for Chaim Schmirle
Uh-huh.
und euch das beste Nissel hat sie gelost für sich. And the best nut was for me.
She left for herself. For
Yes.
this, for herself. Thank you, Julia.
But she
Thank
left
you.
for herself?
Yeah, for sich.
Oh.
The
oh.
best
Bigelows
nut of
for
all.
sich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Julia.
Sure.
Okay, Mariv, you can? You want to
Yeah.
try?
Yeah, okay. Actually, I have the translate, so.
Oh, good.
Wundert sich bist?
Bissel.
Abyssal, for was nicht mehr Nissel? Weil Nissel, das dritte, das bin ich. Okay, let's see if this is right. Are you wondering a little?
Yeah.
Why not give me a sneeze?
No,
Not a sneeze.
nut.
A nut.
A nut. A nut.
I'm sorry, it's Google. They don't get it. Okay. Why? Nut. The third, that's me.
Yeah.
This is
Okay. So
a lovely song.
Yeah.
And
Rafael, yes. Sorry, Rochelle, you were talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Michael Gelbart was my music teacher at the Workman's Circle in Mittelschule. And we used to sing this, but this is a lovely play on words
Yeah.
Yeah.
of, ich heiss and Nissel. It's just adorable about a child saying, I'm really my mom's favorite.
Yes, you're right. Thank you. Thank you. Rafael, yes.
Yeah, I want to enlarge on what Rochelle just said. There are 2 puns here. The first is hasten, which can mean to have a name. It can also mean to command. And so we see that in that first verse. And the other pun is nissel, meaning a little nut, and nissen, Nathan. And so his name is Nathan. And so he can be called Nissel as a diminutive. And so that's the second pun.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Good. Beverly?
So at Pesach time, we would take the nislach, the ones, I don't know what you call them in English.
The filberts. The filberts.
Hazelnuts.
Oh, yeah.
The
Like that, yeah.
Filberts.
Yeah,
The
and
round
The
ones.
hazelnuts, yeah.
We line them up and we'd flick our fingers and play a game with those nislach. Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody do that?
I
No.
remember playing we used them like marbles.
Correct. Exactly. It was the filberts.
The
Yeah,
filberts,
filberts,
the
right.
round nuts.
We use
Yep.
them like it's just like you play with marbles. We
Yep.
call them nislach.
Yeah.
Same thing. Interesting.
Okay, let's listen to it once again.
Everything was a game. We made everything into a game.
Theodore Vinkl also sings this, and I think
even the
Rubin did.
Mhm. Okay.
Die Mama hat drei Ingalech gehabt, mit weicher Reute Beckerlech, wie zarter Samet glatt. Hat eins geheißen Berle, das zweite Chaim Schmerle, das dritte hat geheißen, me soll ihm kaufen Schier. Ich hab genarrt, ich hab gewusst, ihr wart, das dritte kleine Ingerle, das dritte, das bin ich. Die Mama hat drei Nissalech von dem Jarit gebracht, dei gute fette Nissalech, drei Nissalech abbracht. Ist eins gewähnt paar Bärlen und eins paar Chaim Schmerlen und gar das beste Nissel hat sie gelost par sich. Ihr wundert sich ein bisschen, was nicht mir an Nissel, weil Nissele, das dritte, das bin ich.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. So, short and sweet. So, Michael Moore is with us today, and a couple of weeks ago, he came back from Romania from an Yiddish retreat, and he's going to tell us about it. Michael, you are co-host, so you can use, to show us things.
Great. Yeah, I have some photos and stuff. So good to see you all. Let me share this. Okay, there we go. So I went traveled at the beginning of February, first 2 weeks of February to Romania. I had never been to Romania before. I happened to see on Facebook somebody posted in a Yiddish group about a program in Cluj, which is a city I'd never heard of in Romania. It turns out it's the second largest city in Romania. So I guess I had only heard of, well, I guess I had heard of two. I had heard of Bucharest, obviously, the capital, but Satmar or Satu Mare, which is the town where Satmar Hasidim originated. Anyway, so Cluj is a beautiful city, a small city, and it's in Transylvania. Transylvania being the large northern part of Romania and then into Hungary. And so I'd heard about this program and didn't think much about it because it was in February. That sounded like it would be very cold and a long trip and all of that. But then a friend of mine, Daniel Baker, who lives in Switzerland and who takes classes with me with the Arbiter Ring, said, "Hey, we should go to Romania," kind of jokingly, and we ended up going. So that's the long story short. So the program is in Cluj, which in Yiddish, when there were many more Jews there, was called Kloisenberg. It has lots of different names because of all the different different groups of people who've lived there over the years. It's in an area. It's actually the official name is Cluj-Napoca. Nobody says Napoca. It's a name that the communist regime gave it when. So this region at one point was part of Hungary, and when after or right before World War One or right after World War One, it was a lot of Hungary was divided up, and this part was annexed by Romania. And the Romanian government over the years has done a lot to try to make it more Romanian and less Hungarian. And part of that was adding Napoca because Romania coming from the idea or the heritage of this part of Europe being conquered by the Romans That's why the Romanian is a Romance language related to Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, French. Um, and so they were trying to make it more Romanian and less Hungarian. And so they added the name Napoca, which is the name of that it was called when the Romans were ruling there. Anyway, today Cluj-Napoca. In long time ago, Jews knew it as Kloisenberg. So this is the program. It was from February 9th to 16th. And I didn't know too much about it other than you had to already be um, conversant or fluent enough in Yiddish to be able to, all of the classes, except for a couple of them, were in Yiddish. And so you were expected to be able to read, write, listen, and speak in Yiddish. Um, so like I said, Cluj is in the northwest region of Romania, very near Hungary. Um, a lot of people of Hungarian background are there. I couldn't distinguish just hearing on the street, but you see signs in Hungarian, and there are a lot of people whose first language is still Hungarian and second language being Romanian. Um, so some pictures of the city. It's got a lot of really interesting history, um, uh, interesting public artwork. It
Yeah.
was gray almost all of the time. I didn't see the sun until the fifth day, um, and it was very cold, but it turned out to be very nice. So these are just some amazing architecture and sculpture. Romania or Cluj now is divided religion-wise between Catholics and Orthodox Christians. And so this is the main Catholic church, and a big statue in the main square of the city. Um, and let me go back. The church in the background here behind the statue is the main Orthodox church. Beautiful buildings and still, very they're old but still used and part of the city. So it was also rainy some, and so we got snow on the last day. Some views of the city. It's kind of hilly. This is in the Carpathians. The city itself is mostly flat, but you have some hills and some beautiful views. Um, and they have two opera houses. One is the Romanian Opera House, and one is the Hungarian Opera House. And this is the better known one is the Romanian Opera House. Beautiful building, and it stands out at night the way it's lit up. So Daniel and I got to go and see an opera in this beautiful building. Um, a great experience, a very traditional old European style opera house. Um, Very affordable. The food and everything there was incredibly affordable. So we got to see an opera for about 20 US dollars. Um, and so in the program that we participated in was mostly at the University of oh, it's it's a weird name. Boyage. Anyway, so the university is the main thing. One quarter of the population of Cluj is students at the university. Actually, there are other colleges there, but the main university, and it's the biggest university in Romania, and some beautiful buildings. Um, and uh, this is the main building that we were in. This is kind of the humanities building, an old, beautiful building that's you feel like you're stepping back 100 or 150 years when you go in and sit in the classrooms. And so the program was half a part of the day we had classes, instruction, where we were divided up with teachers who taught kind of language, and when we did some reading and discussions. The focus of the program was on technically Yiddish culture of the Eastern Bloc. And a lot of what we looked at had to do with Yiddish in the Soviet Union and Yiddish in Eastern Europe as influenced by the Soviet Union and Soviet culture and communism. And so the class that I was in the mornings was focused on the Yiddish language and um, publications in the Soviet Union. And as a lot of you have seen, if you're reading old um, literature printed in the Soviet Union, even the orthography
Hi,
was
Manishma.
even the spelling, um, the orthography was changed by the Soviet Union to make it simpler and to remove some of the religious context of the Yiddish language. Um, so that's some of what we focused on. Um, we looked at a lot of old newspapers and stories and documents from the Soviet Union. Very interesting. We had lectures for half of the day with different people from across Europe, professors from Bar-Ilan University, which was one of the sponsors of the program, and from different universities in Europe and Israel, and Lazar Borko, who's from the United States, and some of you may be familiar with him. So we had some great lectures on different topics, a little bit, maybe a little bit more academic than my preference, but very interesting. Um, and so we learned a lot. We also got to tour. This is another a lecture hall in the university, just amazing art and architecture. Um, so made a lot of friends. There were about, I believe, 75 participants in the program, um, many more than they expected. I thought it might be 20 or 25 or something like that, but incredible. And people from all over Europe, Israel, and North America for the most part, and Mexico. I guess that is North America. So we got to see some Jewish buildings and sites and museums in Cluj and in the region. This is there were three there are three still standing synagogues in Cluj. This is the only one that's still used as a synagogue, but not there are not very many Jews left in Cluj. But this is open and it's used for cultural events and sometime for davening. It's a beautiful building. On the left is a synagogue, and on the right was a kind of a community center, maybe the JCC of Cluj. Uh, and this is called the Neolog Synagogue. They're in this region. They didn't have Reform, Conservative, or Orthodox, but there was a movement in the early 20th century called the Neolog movement, which we would say is akin to Reform Judaism. Or maybe today's conservative Judaism, but that's referred to as the Neolog Synagogue. Um, some beautiful details. This building was partially destroyed twice, once in the 1920s by basically a pogrom by fascists who were very anti-Semitic, and they destroyed a part of the building in a pogrom. And then it was during World War II, it was taken over by the Nazis and used to store munitions during the war. And so it was bombed by the Allies, and about half of the building was badly damaged. But after the war, the Romanian government rebuilt and did a really nice job of building it back up. And then it's been over the years kept up or remodeled different times. The inside is very plain white, a beautiful building in and of itself. Um, and so we were there for three different events. They had Friday night services. There we had a concert and a lecture. Just a beautiful place to be. This is another one of the synagogues in town, which sort of physically survives. It's no longer a synagogue. It was turned into a cultural center. One of the lecturers during the week was in there, although it ended up conflicting with another lecture, and I didn't end up going inside this building, but an interesting building nonetheless. And this is the other synagogue still standing in Cluj, which is today a part of the university and the university's Jewish cultural studies building. So there's nothing inside really left that you would recognize as part of the synagogue other than the windows, its offices and lecture rooms and that sort of thing. But an interesting building nonetheless. Food and drink were just amazing. We had Romania's version of slivovitz, which is called suka, with almost every lunch and dinner. This is something that's part of Jewish heritage in that before Jews were allowed to live inside the cities in this part of Romania and Hungary at the time, um, about half of the Jews made their living by distilling alcohol and mostly these slivovitz type drinks, which is the reason why slivovitz has become considered a Jewish drink because the Jews in this region for the most part made it. So some great stuff and amazing food. We know from the song Romania, Romania that there are different foods that people have memories of. On the right is mamaliga, which I had with a lot of meals, and we had some amazing goulashes. At one place, I got a chicken soup, which turned out to be matzo ball soup. These were not round, like spherical balls, but they were basically matzo balls in a chicken soup, but not advertised as anything Jewish. It was just something local. More goulash. The Jewish Museum in Cluj, it's kind of small and it's in the basement of a building. The building is nothing notable. But this gentleman in the middle who gave some of us a tour he discovered a lot about his family through doing research and came across a lot of articles that his grandmother had saved and all. And he decided that his family basically tells the story of the Jews of Cluj because he had his grandmother had two sisters, so there were three children in the family who all had different fates before and during World War II. One being sent to Auschwitz, one being deported elsewhere, and another who was hidden by a family. I think that those were the stories. So he decided to make this museum to tell the story of the Jews of Cluj, and has done a really nice job, and actually is getting ready to move into that third synagogue that I showed you. Nearby, about 2 blocks away, is the city's Holocaust Memorial, an interesting sculpture. Um, these towns all have some kind of Holocaust memorial because they lost very, very significant parts of their population during World War II to the Nazis. Some more views of the city, just amazing landscape and buildings. A lot of really old, beautiful streets and buildings. One day, when we had a day off, Daniel and I took a train trip to the town of Dej, which it's not very far from Cluj and had a significant Jewish population there. And so we went to see the sites there and spend part of the day. Their train station has a memorial plaque on it indicating that thousands of Jews from the region were deported by train from this station to concentration camps, mostly Auschwitz. And it's a beautiful little town or city. And this was our day that we actually had sun. So you see some pretty pictures. They have their synagogue still standing. Unfortunately, we weren't able to arrange to go in, but we did get to see it from the outside. Just a beautiful building. There's no significant Jewish presence left in this town. This is the Holocaust Memorial in Dej, and they have a beautiful cemetery on the hillside. So we went And we were fortunate enough to happen to see the man who lives next door walking out, who has the keys to the gate and allowed us to go in very shortly. He pointed out that even though he wasn't Jewish, he knew that because we were Jews, we really weren't supposed to be in the cemetery on Shabbos. But he let us in anyway. Um, so the entire group went on one day for an excursion to two cities in the north, further northwest from Cluj, Satu Mare, Satmar, which was like I said, the town where the Satmar Hasidim came from, and Shimlu Silvanie, or in Yiddish, Shamloi, which both had very large Jewish populations. This is in Satu Mare, Satmar, which has two synagogues still standing. They're next door to each other, and you could make a lot of jokes about that. But what actually happened was they had a very large population, and it continued to grow and grow, and they needed more space. And instead of building a larger synagogue, they just built the large one was already there on the left, and on the right they built another one just to accommodate the growth. And this location is still active in that there are almost no Jews living in Satmar, but there are Satmar Hasidim who there's a constant flow of pilgrims who come because of the graveyard. There are a lot of the Satmar Rebbe's buried in this graveyard. I'll show you some pictures. And so they come, and the indoor is just beautiful, not too well preserved. As you can see, some of the walls are losing their plaster and all. But when we were there was a significant group, at least a large minion of Satmar Hasidim who were davening there. It was incredibly, incredibly cold, and there was no heating in these synagogues, but just amazing. And you can imagine in the heydays of the city with it full of people, what it had to have been like. And just some beautiful decorations. This is inside the next door smaller synagogue. They did have portable heaters. They were not on. It was still miserably cold, but also, a beautiful space. We got a lecture on the history of Satmar's Jews from a historian who teaches at one of the universities and is an expert on the topic. And Laser Burko, one of our professors in the group, gave us a linguistic lecture on the region's dialects in Yiddish. And this is inside another prayer space at the synagogue, a chapel that they have for smaller groups, I guess. This is the cemetery in Satmar. Like I said, a lot of people make pilgrimages here. Several of the tombs had many candles burning in them, so you could see that people had been there throughout the day. You saw a good number of people trekking in. Just a beautiful memory of a time where Judaism flourished there. The next town we went to was in Shamloi. This is the synagogue that is still standing there. Today it's a Transylvanian Holocaust museum. It was rescued by a gentleman who the city was going to tear it down because it was just sitting there not being used, and no Jewish community left there. And this gentleman got together and managed to raise enough funds to save it, buy it from the city, and turn it into a museum, which has just some amazing history that you can read about, and the building itself was beautiful. We got a little snow here and there, but the last day is when we got a significant snowstorm. A view from my hotel room, looking out at the snow from the night before. This is the city's main cemetery, which with the snow was just a beautiful setting. So I got that on the last day before heading out to the airport, getting a slice of babka at the airport, getting on the plane, and flying out. Here's a picture of the Cluj synagogue from a long, long time ago. A great trip. They're talking about that they'll have the program there again next year. So if you see, I highly encourage people to participate.
In the winter?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Summer program?
It was no summer program. The reason it turned out why they were able to do this was during that week that we were there, the university was on a break, and so they were able to use the classrooms. A lot of people they had dorm rooms that you could get for $20 a day. I
But
think
they
that's
also have a break in the summer, so they can use the same break in
right.
the summer.
Right.
So did you read literature or
We did a lot of reading. Yeah, they
and
gave us
translate?
different articles and stories and that sort of thing, and then talked about some of the linguistic and historical aspects of all of that.
Sounds wonderful.
Sounds
Okay.
great.
Right.
Just the
So
idea of the
thank you,
cold.
Michael. It
You're
was
welcome.
enlightening, but I see that people ask questions. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Isabel and then Bob. Isabel?
Well, I performed in Romania in 1983. It was a different era. Ceausescu was in power. Cluj was called Holosvar, which in Hungarian,
Right.
and we performed. I was with a very famous guitarist named Sharon Isbin. We performed in Bucharest, in Cluj, and in Arad with orchestra. Arad is way, way in the west.
Oh, right.
And we went to a restaurant and asked for a menu, and the waiter said, "Menu?" I said, "What do you have?" He said, "Mamaliga," and that was it. They had no street lights. There was no gasoline. There was obviously no food. It was a very different era. And I met a chorus that was Christians studying Hebrew with an old Jewish man because they wanted to convert so that they could get out of Romania and move. That was
Oh, wow.
really interesting. And I was taking pictures of synagogues, and this man came up to me and he said, "Zaina Yid?" I
Oh,
said, "Yo."
wow.
And he said, "Are you hungry?" Yes. He said, "Do you know about the kosher kitchens?" No, what kosher kitchen? He said, "Where are you going next?" We said, "Arad." He said, "Well, look up this address." The United Jewish Appeal had created all these kosher kitchens all over Romania. So finally we ate. And, we walked in and said, "Say Yiddish Mädel come to play with the Philharmonic. Let's be."
How
So it
cool.
was a different era.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a different era. I was there in 78 for a month.
Uh-huh.
We crossed all of Romania, and it was miserable. It was miserable. People were standing in line for food. We were four people, so once we just went to look at the display in a shop, and people started standing behind us because they thought that there is food there. If four people are standing in line, so they are also standing in line to see what's going on. It was miserable. So since then, I didn't return. It was, it was really not a nice experience. I hope now, from what you are telling, that it's a lot better.
It's much better, and people told me that when they joined the EU, Romania benefited economically incredibly. Like one of our taxi drivers pointed out all the buildings that have been built just because there are funds from the EU.
Wow.
So I'm sure
Okay.
very, very different.
Okay, Bob and then Rochelle.
Yeah,
Bob?
Michael, that was wonderful. I've been doing all these Kesher travelogue of Jewish heritage in these European cities, and this is equal to those, if not better than several I've attended. So
Oh,
that was
thanks.
fantastic. Let me ask you, you talked about lectures this and discussions that. How much of it was pure Yiddish? How much English? Or what languages? Hungarian, Romanian?
The lectures were all either in Yiddish or English. There were almost everything was Yiddish. There were two speakers. The lady who talked to us about the Jewish history in Satmar, she spoke to us in English, and there was one or two others who spoke to us in English because they didn't speak Yiddish, but they had interesting topics. Everybody else was, everything else was in Yiddish.
Okay. Rochelle?
I had a girlfriend whose parents were from Hungary, and she spoke Yiddish, and I spoke Yiddish, and we could barely understand each other because of the difference in the dialect.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was so much work to understand each other that we hardly ever spoke Yiddish. Did you find that the dialects were an issue?
Well, so there are no native Yiddish speakers left in this area. So the Jews who are still there have lost their Yiddish. So we didn't hear, other than recordings or other things, people speaking in the local dialect. And so you had of the professors and everybody speaking, there was a wide variety of dialects, but very,
But you understood them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Michael, and it's every year at the same place?
Well, this is the first time they did it,
Ah,
but they
it
said
was the
they were talking about because of the success and how many people went, that they were hoping to do it again next
And
year.
how are they going to advertise it, or how are we going to know about it? If it wasn't cold, I'd go tomorrow, that kind of thing. But the cold is really something that I have trouble with, but I might overcome that obstacle in my head.
I saw it posted in Facebook, Yiddish Facebook groups,
Okay.
and I'll put in the chat a link to the page about it. I don't know if they've got an email list that you can get on or whatever, but
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, if you see it next year, send the link to us.
absolutely, absolutely, yes.
Maybe someone is too warm in Florida and wants a bit of
I'll tell you, I was very worried about the weather, and it turned out not to be as miserable as
Yeah, but I'm very
there was
cold.
one day where we were just running from one building to the other because it was windy and rainy and cold. But
But
otherwise, it was
but
nice to get away from Houston humidity
it was
and have a
comfortable in
winter.
the hotels. They had good heating in the
Yeah, so
hotels.
Daniel and I stayed at the Courtyard by Marriott, and it was
Okay.
very, very modern.
American hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Beverly?
Who sponsored it? Was the university there or an outside group?
So it was two universities, the local university and Bar Ilan, Bar Ilan's Yiddish
Oh,
studies program.
and I see it said advanced Yiddish.
Yeah, so I don't know, advanced means different things to different people. I think most people here would be able to do well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
not new student, not someone new to the language.
no,
No.
no. Everybody there was was able to read and listen to lectures. Um, so. When you apply, you have to apply and get accepted. They ask for a writing sample, I guess, to see
Oh
what
wow.
what
Oh,
your
wow.
level of
Oh
Yiddish is.
wow.
But
Okay.
mine's not that advanced, and I got in. So
No, you're pretty advanced.
Louisa?
Yeah, I was curious. So this was organized, you think, by who organized this? Barilan University?
so there were essentially three professors, one from Bar Ilan, or two from Bar Ilan, and one from the university in Cluj, who did the organization. But then they also had a large number of other, professors from other universities, mainly around Europe. And I botched the name of the university in Cluj. It's Babish Bolyai.
How do you
Is the name.
spell Cluj?
CLUJ.
Mm. And if I may ask, do they organize trips to sort of Jewish communities in the in the eastern part of Europe? Is that what they do?
I think this was just kind of a unique thing. I don't know that it's part of any bigger program. From what I understand, the two of the Yiddish professor at the university in Cluj and the professor who helped organize it from Israel had met and somehow had this idea and then put
I
it
see.
together.
What was the
I see.
cost of the program?
Well, technically, they said it was free, but then when we were checking in, they asked for
A
40
donation.
euros, and which I think cost, yeah, they provided snacks during the day and a lot of stuff. So, and then if you wanted to go on that day-long bus tour, it was another €100. So,
So all in all, what do you think your budget had to be for this?
my budget was food, airfare, and hotel. So, and this time, the good thing about going in the winter is the airfares were very low. No tourists are going to Romania in February. Um, and everything there was very I think my hotel was $100 a night, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the food was very, very affordable.
Accessible.
So if I may ask, so is there somebody teaching Yiddish at the university there?
There is, yeah. They have classes
Amazing.
for students who, yeah, and this is happening all over Europe. Is people
Really?
are becoming interested in. I was amazed at how many Europeans there, the students and professors were 100% fluent in Yiddish.
Wow,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
amazing. Feels good.
Thank you, Michael. Thank
you
you
Very
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 much.
welcome.
much.
Yeah,
I
I'm
see
glad
there
I
is
could share.
still someone then. Yes, Daniel? You're muted. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, Michael, your photography was excellent. I really enjoyed those photographs. They were
Oh, thank
really
you.
beautiful.
Thank you. We walk around with an incredible camera in our hands
Yeah.
these days.
I hope you all realize that this is Michael who sends you the weekly newsletters because you never see him.
Yeah, usually you don't see him because he still works. He's not a retiree like most of
Right,
us.
right.
So that's why, yeah. Maurice,
Bravo,
yes.
Here
Michael.
when I can.
Naronsky.
Yeah. Michael, did you bring back any slivovitz for our next Vorspice service?
I brought
Okay,
back
so
slivovitz and sour cherry liqueur and all kinds of stuff.
It's Mark kosher?
Yeah. Yes.
very kosher, yeah.
I grew up with Slivovitz.
Okay.
Very
Have
good.
you discussed the third Seder? I've been gone for a while.
What's third Seder? We are not doing this year the third Seder.
Oh, okay.
We are doing it in person
Okay.
at the Houston JCC. But I found an amazing story for Passover.
Okay.
An amazing story called Charoses by Sholem Aleichem, of course, because his holiday stories are amazing. And thank you, Rafael. I took it from your side. Anyway, but since it's still another 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I'm not sure, I think 3.5 weeks, we will go back to our story that we've been reading, Amoid Mitakind, where Flora wants to marry, what's his name, Misha? They have a child together. She wants to marry. He doesn't want to marry. He doesn't want to give up his bachelor life. But she has an aunt, Hodel, that has a mission in life to get them married. And she is concocting all kinds of things, like telling Misha that the boy is going to be adopted. And Misha is really furious. And he goes to her to talk with her about this. That's where we stopped, page 157 at the top. Let me share it with you. And, okay. So, we stop at Oberhodel is gewinnt vertieft. So, and I forgot, Hodel is running kind of a small gambling racket in her house where people meet and play cards, and she's taking some percentage out of it. So, Michael Fissman, please start.
Ober Hodel gewinn vertieft in finstere Machshovas, but Hodel was immersed in dark thoughts. Bald wird sie ausgehen, soon she will die, wie die Licht, go out like a light. Jene Welt hat geschrocken. The world to come scared her. Sie hat eine Sache gesündigt. She had sinned a lot. Sie hat jetzt die Schuld geworfen auf ihr verstorbenen Mann. And now she threw the blame onto her dead husband. Was hat sie vernachlässigt und sich herumgeführt mit anderen Weibern, who neglected her and had affairs with other women. Wollte sie hat ja Kind gehabt. If only she would have had a child, Vinkl, a little boy, was all über 100 Jahre Kaddish sagen, who would, after she dies or after she lives for 100 years, he would say Kaddish for her. Wollte ihr ausgekauft von ihrer Sind, and that would have redeemed her, bought her out from her sins. Sie hat ihr Schwesters Kind wie eine eigene Tochter gezeugt. She raised her sister's child like an own daughter. Hat jener a Mamser auf der Welt gebracht. So, and now she has brought a bastard onto, has given birth to a bastard. Sie wollte alles weggegeben. She would have given away everything. Als Flora soll werden a kosher Weibel und das Kind soll haben a gesetzlichen Taten. She would have given away everything, that Flora should be a legitimate wife, and the kind would have a genteel, law-abiding father.
Just a moment, is it law-abiding or is just by law?
Legal.
Illegal, I think.
Yeah, lawful.
Yeah, a lawful
or legitimate.
Lawful, yeah, thank you. Ze zijn in hier bevallen vroeger gefilmd. Religious thoughts came onto her. Efter werd fort vijfhalen über 100 jaar nog hier Kaddish sagen. Perhaps in any case, vijfhalen will say Kaddish after her, after she dies. 100 years' time, und sie wird sich nicht davon broten in Gehenna, and she wouldn't have to roast in hell. Boy, wenn Gott helft ihr und sie wollt gekonnt, Mischas versteinerter Herz rühren. Oh, if God would only help her and she would be able to touch Misha's stony heart, is over der Jung eingespart, but this young man is obstinate, nicht von Ort zu reden, impossible to move him. In ihre Gedanken schellt sie ihm mit teuter Klolles, and in her thoughts she curses him with deadly curses.
Go on, please, Michael.
Oh, wie sie ist also gesessen und getracht, as she was sitting and thinking like this, what did her heart clap, and here she heard she heard a knocking on the door. Sie hat sich wie aufgehabt von einem tiefen Schlaf und ausgerufen, as if arousing her from a deep sleep, she called out, "Come in, herein, come in." Auf dem Schwell ist gestanden Misha. Misha was on the threshold. Skotzel kommt, Mishinka. Welcome, Mishinka. Skotzel is something that I've often heard. Does anyone know the derivation?
It says, look who's here.
Susan will tell you.
Yeah, I think Susan
do.
knows. Yes, Susan.
I do.
Okay.
Susan used to say that to us.
Yeah, but you know, welcome. But what is the derivation of Skotzel?
I know that.
Okay, Julia, if you know, Julia, say.
Yes, it's from a story that originated with S. Ansky, and Skottel was, she was one who was a lauded by the Jewish women who stormed, who formed a tower to God, apparently. However, somebody on the bottom of the tower moved, and so the whole thing fell down.
It's not clear, Julia.
I think.
Sorry.
Pardon?
Your voice wasn't clear.
Your voice wasn't clear.
I'll read it from the transcript. She was one who was lauded by the Jewish women who stormed a tower to God, apparently. However, somebody on the bottom of the tower moved, and so the whole thing fell down.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
But I was
Thank you,
fine.
Julia. Yeah, thank you. Karen, yes, Karen.
Refoil.
Well, I read on the internet that I'll just read what I'm reading. While some folklore connects it to a female figure named Skotzel, it is likely derived from the German phrase, Sei Gott willkommen, be God welcome.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Karen. Thank
And
you.
yes.
Uh-huh.
But I think,
The foil.
Yeah, I was also going to say that it likely comes from Zygot Willkommen, and it's typical of women's speech. There are just a few expressions in Yiddish that men use more than women, or that women use more than men. And you can hear both men and women using this, but it's mostly in women's speech that people say Skotzel kommt. And you can translate it as, look who the cat dragged in.
but I believe it was originated by Ansky in a story.
Okay. Thank you, Julia.
I think it's far older than that.
I think Susan, our teacher, used to, when you were late, she said Skotzel kommt. That's what I remember.
That's right.
Yeah. Narunski, Maurice Narunski.
Ja, ich habe nicht verstanden von den 100 Jahren, als man so kalisch ist, 100 Jahre von der Zeit, wenn sie ist gestorben, oder 100 Jahre noch sie ist gestorben.
No, zum Interview. Zum Interview. Nicht danach. Zum Interview. When she will be, or she will be for 100, not after.
Yeah, okay.
Morty?
Yes, over 100 years. What it means is the woman, she's trying not to say something that is going to hurt her. She's pushing the date of her passing as much as she can. So over 100 years, I can't think of the correct words right now, but she doesn't want to, what's the word, when you don't want something to happen right now.
It's like a 9 hour?
Like a 9 hour, something like that. But over 100 years, way further down the line whenever it happens.
Okay. Refoil and then Karen. Refoil?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the expression predates Ansky. He might have collected it, but Shalom Aleichem uses it in several places. And I don't think Shalom Aleichem would have been influenced by Ansky's legends.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Karen?
I was hoping that I could hear once again the translation related to the 100 years. And I would like to request, starting from the fourth line from the top, the fifth line, wollt sie Chutz a Kind gehat, that whole sentence.
Wollt sie Chutz a Kind gehat. Okay. Michael, would you like to do it, please?
Can I just mention that in our house they used to say, bis 120 Jahre.
Yeah.
Seem to have the same connotation, live as long as you can. Anyway, wollt sie Chutz a Kind gehat, if only she would have had a child. I think that is subjunctive a wishful thinking. Vinkl, is that a little boy was all über 100 Jahre Kaddish sagen noch hier, and she should live as long as she can live, or 100 or 120 years, and he would say Kaddish after her. Wollte ihr ausgekauft von ihrer Sind, and that would have redeemed her, bought her out, or redeemed her from her sins.
Thank you.
Okay? Okay, so, yes, Morty.
I just remember what I wanted to say. What she wants to do is, and this is common in Yiddish, she doesn't want to jinx it.
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's the expression
That's
that
the
I was
word.
trying to find.
Okay.
My English is getting very poor living here.
The problem is that we forget the words, Morty. We forget the
Yes.
word. It's a common thing. I have the same thing.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so Michael, just these lines. Skotzel kommt.
Oh, Skotzel kommt, Mishinka. Welcome, Mishinka. Hat die Mama Hodel an der Freitag ausgerufen, I Gast. And the aunt, the Mama Hodel, the aunt Hodel, very happily called out, "What a guest!" Oh, ich hab nur was getracht von dir. I was just thinking about you. Na, setz dich, na, ja, sit down. Hat sie ihm ungewiesen auf a Vinkl. She pointed him out to a bench. Efsher a gläsel ha. Perhaps you'd like a glass of something.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Thank you. Karen, would you like to continue? Karen. Hat ihr nicht geantwortet?
I'm sorry. Hat ihr nicht geantwortet und sich nicht gesetzt, nur gleich gefragt mit an aufgeregter Stimme. He did not answer, and he did not sit down, but straight away asked with an upset voice, Ich will wissen, sie es ist emes, als Flora geht weggeben Kind. I want to know if it is true that Flora is giving away the child. Dos nu setz sich kodem avec, als du wirst sich beruhigen und nicht schreien. Well, truly, sit down first of all, and as you will calm yourself down and don't scream. Wollen wir schmusen? We will talk. Sie hat weggestellt a Fläschel Bronfen auf den Tisch. She put down a glass of brandy on the table.
A bottle.
Sorry, a bottle. Excuse me.
Bottle.
A bottle of brandy on the table. Hat angegossen zwei Gläser. She poured out 2 glasses. Eins der langen dem Gast. One she served to the guest. Und das zweite zugetragen zum Maul und gesagt, she carried to her mouth and said, soll der Eberster uns geben das gute Gesund und du sollst der Leben Naches von dein Feiblen. Should the Almighty, our Almighty, give you good health, and you should live to have pride from your fiveling.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Harriet, would you like to continue?
Okay. Mischa hat getan, hat sie herunter den Brompfen mit ein Schlung. Mischa, I think it's like he drank the whiskey with one swallow. Hat sich weggesetzt und wieder gesagt. He sat himself down and said again, Mumme, ich hab doch euch etwas gefragt. Auntie, I had asked you something. Was soll ich dir sagen, Mishinka? What should I say to you, Mishinka? Es tut mir öfter mehr weh von dir. It probably hurts me more than it hurts you. Ja, sie geht immer weg. Yes, she's giving him away. Das goldene Kind wird nebig adoptiert werden von Fremde. This golden child will be adopted by strangers. Ope sehr feine Leute, very fine people. Der Jung is aufgesprungen. The young man jumped up. Soll sie brennen wie a fire? May she burn like fire. Men gibt noch nicht weg. Ich hab noch euch etwas zu sagen. One can't just give them away. I have something after all to say about it. Oi, Mishinka, 11 auf dir. Oh, Mishinka, may God bless you. Was für Tate bist du on a chuppah vekdoshim? What kind of a father are you without a civil marriage? Das Kind is nebich a mamzer. The child is a bastard. Du meinst, as Flora will sich scheiden mit ihm? Do you think Flora wants to part from him? Sie sagt, dass sie muss das tun. She says she has to do it. Should I keep going?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Wait, can I ask a question about a chuppah v'kedushin? You translated it as a civil marriage? I would think.
I looked it up. I don't know.
It's a marriage. Chip and kiddushim. It's a marriage.
I mean, to me, that would be a religious marriage, a civil marriage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hat getan ersetzt in Tisch und ausgerufen. He slapped the table and exclaimed, "Soll sie brennen? She must burn." Then gibt noch nicht. You don't do that. You don't give them away. Ich lebe noch auf der Welt. I'm still here. I'm still alive. Nu, ihr werdet das verlassen, and you're going to allow this? Hat geguckt auf Hodland mit bettendicke Augen. He looked at Hodland Hoder with begging eyes.
Thank you, Harriet. Okay, Refoil, please.
Oi, Mishinke, Aziz Leben auf dir. Oh, dear Misha, may you have a sweet life. Reg dich nicht auf. Don't get so angry. Es ist mir genug bitter. It's bitter enough for me. Avada will ich nicht. Of course, I don't want this to happen. Skint is mein Leben. The child is my life. Als in der Welt wollt ich für ihm getan. I would do anything in the world for him. Aber, however, hat sie sich verhakt, she interrupted herself. Mischa hat auf ihr geguckt mit fragenden Blicken. Mischa looked at her with questioning eyes. Verstehst? Smacht sich ihr a teure Schiddich. You have to understand, she continued. She is she's getting a nice match, marriage proposal. A reicher Mann mit an eigenem pawn shop. A rich man with his own Lombard. Will mit ihr Chasene haben. Wants to marry her. Nur das Kind will nicht, but he doesn't want the child. Will nicht kein Mamzer. He doesn't want a bastard. Sagt, als will mit ihr haben eigene Kinder. The man says that he wants to have their own children together. Hat a langen ausgezeugenem Pfeif getan. Mischa let out a long, drawn-out whistle, und ausgerufen, and then said, "Also is die Meise? So that's the story? Jetzt verstehe ich. So now I got it. Nu, meg ihr nicht a Cholera packen." Meg ihr. So I'm trying to figure out what's the subject of Meg.
The cholera, I think.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that works, yeah. Shouldn't a cholera attack her? Sha, Mishinke. Shut up, Misha, dear Misha. A leben auf dir. May you live. Herr ihr aufzuschalten. Stop cursing her. Sie ist nebech genug verschalten. She's already, poor thing, cursed enough. A Yesaime mit an ungesetzlich Kind. An orphan with a child who doesn't have legal status. Voje, du meinst, sie will him? What then? You think that she wanted him? Jener will him. Maybe he's referring now to the suitor. Do you think that she wants the suitor? Jener läuft ihr nach. That fellow is chasing after her. Pegert var ihre Tritt, and he croaks for her footsteps. Und sie, but she, kommt daher, weint mit bittere Tränen. She comes here and she cries with bitter tears. Sie kann nicht. She just can't. Is noch als eingeliebt in dir. She is, after all, in love with you. Nur, was soll sie tun? For a ton. What should she do after all? As du sagt sich ab von stellen a chuppah, because you're refusing to set up a chuppah to get married. Me kann doch ewig nicht sein allein, and person can't stay single forever. Nu, wie kann ich Chasene haben? But, well, how can I get married? Hat gerät schon in a milderen ton. He now spoke in a more gentle tone. As ich hab doch noch ergets a vibe, given that I have still somewhere a wife. A long leben auf dir, Mishinke. May you live long, dear Misha. Das ist doch a teretz for the elter Bobbin. You can tell that to your granny. That's just an explanation you might give to your great-grandmother. Efter for dein Floren, aber nicht for mir. Maybe that you could tell to Flora, but you can't tell me that. Dein gewesen vibe is tight. Your former wife has died. Wie alle Teite, like all the dead people. Und von jener Welt kommt man nicht zurück. And people do not return from the other world.
Okay, thank you, Rafael. Thank you. Beverly, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay. Ich mach nicht kein Leben.
Yeah, ich mach nicht kein Leben. I don't make a living. Hat sich noch als gewehrt? I don't know, what's gewehrt?
I think defend
I think
himself.
he's trying.
Oh, he's trying. He's he's still defending himself. Von wannen will ich nehmen auf Parnasse für a Weib und a Kind? Where am I going to take Parnasse, income for a wife and a child? Sehst du, wegen Parnasse bist du Tage gerecht. Well, you see, regarding income, you are correct. Von die etliche has that Shoah?
Sure.
What is that?
Hours.
Hour.
A few hours a day.
I see. From the few hours a day, was du arbeitest beim Barber, the few hours a day that you work by the barber, kann man Tage kein Leben nicht machen. You really can't make a living. Und von Trasken auf der Pike bei der schwarzer Jenny ist doch gar nicht.
Sebegornisht.
What is Trasken?
Klappen.
Drumming.
Drumming.
The hitting.
Oh, running
hitting the drum.
Oh, for the black Jenny. I don't know. You can't really make a living either, I think.
Yeah. Gornish begornish, nothing.
Gornish begornish, yeah, nothing for nothing. Nu, das sag ich dach Tage. So that's what I say to you. Hat sich der Jung angehabt und ist gewinn zufrieden. So the young man got up and he was satisfied, I guess. Was die Mumme Huddle stimmt mit ihm, that the Tante, the aunt Huddle, is on his side.
Stimmt mit ihm ein, agrees with him.
Agrees with him, yeah. Ich geb doch ihr fahren Kind, wiffel ich kann. I'm going to give you whatever I can for the child.
I am giving the kid. I'm giving whatever I can for the child. So he's supporting him however he can.
It's the father. The father says he's supporting the child. Das ist aber nicht kein Terrace. That's no excuse. How do you excuse?
Yes, excuse.
Leben auf dir. You should live and be well. Ich hab schon genug getracht davon. I've already thought about this a lot. Und bin gefallen auf a guten Plan. Oh, and I have a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Wenn du hörst sich zu der Mumme Huddle, when you listen to the Aunt Huddle, was hat dich lieb wie ein eigen Kind, that who loves you like her own child. Und wenn der Übersteher schickt dir so a bissel Sechel. And when Übersteher is God?
Yes.
God. Yes.
God has sent you some sense. Volt doch dir
with the internet guy, and he.
Oh, excuse me?
No, go on.
All right. Volt doch dir gekannt sein Voil?
Yes.
Voil und lichtig und wollst dir gelebt wie a regular Graf. What's Graf?
Graf is like a
person.
Like a baron.
Like a baron, like a duke,
Well, so when God sends us sends you some seichel, some, I don't know how
common sense.
Common sense. Thank you. Gekocht sein.
Oh, it will be good for you.
Good and light, and you would live a wonderful, good life. I think.
Like a regular, Graf is kind of.
Ich verstehe nicht. I don't understand. Hat der Jung geguckt auf ihr mit fragende Augen. Oh, I don't understand. The young man looked at her with questioning eyes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Beverly. Morty, will you read
Finish.
for us?
Until Wart, hab Geduld. Wait, be patient. Los dich dienen in Herr mir ois mit Kopf. Let me tell and listen to me with your head. Du weißt dich, you know of course, as ich hab keinen nicht auf der ganzen Welt, that I don't have anybody else in the whole world achitz Flora mit dem Kind, other than Flora and the child. Sie sind in mein Leben und Neschumme. They are my life and my soul. Sie sind in meine zwei Kinder. They are my two children. Wenn du stellst a Chippe mit Flora, if you set up a wedding canopy with Flora, ob ich dich gleich verrechnet für mein Drittkind. I would consider you like my third child. Ich hab geläubt der Eberster. I have, thank God, a shane put $1,000 in cash, a couple of $1,000 in cash, und bonds euch und will euch helfen, and also in bonds, and I want to help you. Da
in ois.
Dein Haus ledigt sich ois a star.
A store. A store.
A store. Here in the house, in the empty house, it's good to set up a store. Here in the house.
Is becoming empty. Leidig sich ois a store. So a store
Leidig
is
sich
becoming.
the store. Yeah, the store is becoming empty mit 4 Zimmern with 4 rooms, wo's is wie ungemosten for a beauty parlor. That is exactly good to set up a beauty parlor. Du kennst dich a bissel, Sharon. You know a little bit about cutting hair. Dus Ibereke wirst du sich zu lernen. The rest you will learn wirst
Onstellen.
You will set up a few girls. Flora already knows the business well. Ich will euch einordnen a Geschäft mit, well, there's a message, mit a bissel Wirtschaft. I will set you up a business with a little bit of money. Dus is der golden business. This is a wonderful business. Wollst mit der Zeit gekannt werden reich. You could become very wealthy in time. Wer bist ist? What are you now? A bum, a gurmisht. You are now a bum and nothing. Ves chasene oben, veste oben dein Sinn in Weib. If you get married, you will have a son and a wife. Ves veren a balabus, you will be the head of a business. You will be the homemaker. Vel Menschen dich respektieren. People will respect you. A Leben of dir, a life for you. Ich will Achtung geben auf ein Kind. I will look after the child. Und über 100 Jahre, and in 100 years from now, wird ihr mich jershenen. You will become my inheritors, my heirs. Als was wird überbleiben, everything that will remain, wird dir gehören, will be yours.
Okay, thank you. We will stop here and continue the saga next week.
Looks like he's weakening.
He's weakening, yeah.
It's good tactics. It's good tactics.
Yeah, where it goes with money, he starts listening. So we will see what goes. Yeah.
Flora is a very smart woman.
Yes,
not Flora. Odell is a very smart woman.
Odell is very smart, yeah.
A Yiddische Kopf. A Yiddische Kopf.
But they felt that marriage would solve all problems, which is not true.
Yeah, but
get
it
married, everything will be okay, but it wasn't true.
Wait to the end of the story.
Wait to
You'll
the
see.
end of the story. Yeah, wait to the end of the story, and we will see if it's
It's
true.
so realistic. It's so real. It's so true.
Yeah,
Happened to so many people.
Yeah, like my mother used to say, a story from life.
Yeah,
The story from life.
True, true.
Yeah. Hilda, I sent you an email. The time was changed here. So the difference between us
Yeah,
now is
right.
5 hours.
Yes,
Right.
I know, but I had a problem here. So
Okay.
it was nothing to do with the time.
I see.
Oh,
Okay. So
okay.
until they change the hours at your place at the end of the month, it's
Yeah.
5 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions, any comments about the story? No. Okay.
I just sent I sent in the chat a message that the first Seder is on April the 1st.
Okay, so until then, I hope we will finish the story and start the story for
It's a
Passover.
serious topic, but written in a very humorous way. It's wonderful.
Yes, it's also it gets you somehow. It
Yes.
gets you. Yeah. Louisa?
Yeah, I had a question about the word Feivel.
That's a name. It's a name. The name of the child.
Okay.
The name of the child is
Declined. It's declined because it's the dative case.
Right, that's what I didn't understand.
Yeah,
Yes, you're right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Great
So,
story.
na me alle gesehen, חבר'ה. En met zich zeeën nog een woch.
Okay.
Great
Okay.
Agite Woch and Agite Yor.
Agite woch en agit you. Bye, alle.